Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is Grand Arena, the first match of the final week, Season 41, and this is also going to be the final and only match from this week that we will be uploading because I was traveling during rounds 2 and round 3. But we did accomplish my goal of finishing the season in Kyber 2 and having Kyber 2 brackets for 5 straight seasons now, with only 3 GLs, but that streak is now ending, not because we got knocked out, but because I now am a 4 GL account. So we are in effect looking at a new streak under new circumstances, which actually I should be able to perform far better since we are going to have some more options with certain counters, particularly the Malgus counter. But first we're going to do things a little bit differently. Let's try and do this a little quickly. We're going to recap the final 2 rounds of this week and just show you what I did with my attacks. Now with round 2 we were able to win that one pretty convincingly. My defense did amazing. Round 3 also should have or could have been a win had I had the time, but I was out to brunch, socializing, doing other things. It wasn't really an option for me to fully participate while I was traveling. So we ended up not winning that match, but you'll see how it goes. It was definitely a win had I had the amount of clock that I needed. And round 1, since I don't want to spoil anything, we'll throw that in at the end of the video. So right now limiting this to round 2, round 3 we'll do the defenses, and then the attacks for each match. Now, Norak here attempted Qira Nest. That's not going to work up against Mon Mothma. C up against Malgus. This I always like to see happens pretty frequently. My opponents attempt Bad Batch up against Qui-Gon with my Gear 11 cam, and my Qui-Gon gets the hold. Pretty consistently, that's a pretty common thing that happens. CLS up against Dash losing. He does Vader to ultimately take it out. SOKR to take out my Trench Kron. Traya the CLS. Shaak T taking out the Qui-Gon or cleaning it up. Gas up against my Maul squad. This generally takes a somewhat stronger account. The cheapest counter that I've seen here is Troopers. But this situation, it looks pretty scary. You usually draw something pretty strong. Wampa up against Grievous. Troopers taking out Mon Mothma. Aphra up against Chieftain. Padme taking out Sana. Jedi Knight Revan up against Bast. JMK Padme. JKL Iden. Moff Gideon here losing to Tarful, and this was a surprise for me. This is the first time my Tarful getting any holds, and especially considering how relatively weak my Tarful squad is, this was a great result. He uses Raddus to take out Finn, and then Grievous here losing to Tarful, I think in a preload, no, with no preloaded turn meters, still taking out a Grievous squad, which was a bit of a surprise. And then here they ultimately go down to Sidious, and that I'm a little surprised by because that's not a great squad here. There are good relics here, but I would have thought the Grievous squad would have been stronger. And then he did not fully engage with Fleet with his Executrix failing to the Profundity, but you can see no Scythe there. On attack, I did Fennec up against Lord Vader. He had the protection up Kron. I keep forgetting to take off my Boba Fett from defense, which is a mistake with that Kron out there, but I knew I could clean it up because I full clear this guy. JTR Swolo blowing up my Maul, one of my favorite things to do, or blowing up his Maul. Gassed the Malgus. I always gamble with this because it makes my life a whole lot easier when it works, even though it tends to fail up against Revan, Bastila, Shan versions, and it's also going to become far more inconsistent as more players get Relic 9 Revan. So I'm very happy to have unlocked Sith Eternal Emperor to give me a superior counter here, except we might need to save him for Traya. For Third Sister. So we're not fully in the clear here, but we're definitely going to be in a better position. Now, Wampa up against Trench, but he had a Dooku Kron. I have the Trench Kron, which makes this far less successful. Fifth brother, the Qui-Gon. This is a gamble. I still went with it, especially up against the Ki-Adi-Mundi versions. He makes this stuff harder, even at this low level. You see mine work too. Sortie, this is my preferred cleanup in that situation. It's fairly cheap because I'm not using him elsewhere. Hondo'd the Bosk Zam, Seer Junda Dembo, JML, making progress on the Malgus, but without a Jedi Knight Revan, that wasn't really going to work. You really need to get around the taunt. That wasn't an option here. Traya the Malgus, Savage soloed Iden. Here I Vadered Geos, JMK'd the Starkiller, Jabba Cleanup of Lord Vader. Then you can see we just use some high-powered counters from here on out. Starkiller up against this Dash Squad with Hondo, Trooper the Newt, Raddus the Phasma, Inquisitor the Mon Mothma, Aphra the Sana. The defense became rapidly weaker. Some very good teams on the high end, and some more filler teams at the low end. And then no real issues here with Fleet making some good progress. Although here, I wish I had this recorded because you don't usually see me utilize this counter, but I went with it because I was going to win regardless. It's just because I don't have relics on my Iden. So I've had less success in my own squad arena, but I went with it and it had a great result. I'll probably utilize it a little bit more, at least until I get to Leviathan. Now with round 3, Gas up against is that what I did? No, that's what he did. Yeah, that's right. No, yeah. He gassed my trench, but we made a good amount of progress. Sith Eternal Emperor up against the Malgus. Revan, CLS. Here you see it again. Bad Batch falling to my Qui-Gon. Jedi Knight Revan losing to Dash. Sana Hondo. Traya up against the Han Chewie. Wampa the Iden. And then here, this is why I like newer kits, why I emphasize them all the time. This is what happens when your opponents are less familiar with these newer characters. You get these kinds of wins that just come from inexperience. So he tries Phasma up against Finn, fails, ultimately cleans it up with Shaak T. This loses, Fennec beats the Tarful, but here's what I like. Look at the progress Tarful made up against this. With a Relic 8 Boba Fett stopping the revives from Vandor, I would have thought that they would have lost harder than they did. And instead, they made a good amount of progress up against this Fennec squad. Aphra Padme, SOK are taking out the Maul squad, CLS Mon Mothma. And then here again, lack of familiarity. Vader up against Tuskens. And Vader's actually one of the ways I do counter it, but I bring in Talon. Because Talon, with the stacking effects of Loyal Hand, will get enough AoE damage to ultimately take out Raider and the Summon. On its own, though, Vader doesn't work, because what happens with Vader, you'd think the dots aren't going to expire. They do on the Raider and the Summon, because technically it's not the character reviving, it's a whole new Raider, it's a whole new Summon replacing the one that was defeated. So the dots reset, the dots go away. Now, Grand Inquisitor losing to it. Stark doesn't have a lead, so this was an interesting choice, but losing to Chieftain. And then JMK losing, of course, because they don't have an AoE ability to deal with the Raider. Although the Omicron's a little broken. I think if you switch your target, like you don't go after the Summon because the Summon will keep coming back, I think Raider may not keep coming back. So there may have been a way around that, but that's ultimately a timeout. Night Sisters clean it up, although don't attempt Night Sisters on a first attempt. I've tested it. The Tuskens are hard-coded to go after Daka and take her out. So it's not going to work. Padme losing to Grievous, Iden failing a cleanup, or Sing, same deal. My preferred cleanup for Grievous is Akbar Leia. That works without any relics. Like, I've got a relic Leia now, but I was using my Gear 12 Leia and still cleaning up a Grievous with it. There's just so many assists. She attacks so much that it works fine. And then you see Han Chewie taking out the boss, JTR up against Sana. And then for my attacks, and you'll see here why this would have been a win had I had the time. Like, my defense ultimately stops him, and you'll see my attacks were going really well. I just didn't have the clock I needed. I was trying to fit these in throughout my day and while doing other things with other people. Now, Starkiller taking out the Ray Swolo, Gas working successfully up against the Malgus, but you see here not the Sean Revan versions, which are much easier. JMK'd the Lord Vader, and he didn't have the protection up Kron, so that was going to be far more successful. Fist Brother succeeding in this attempt, but Kiadi Mundi's not there. Wampa the Mon Mothma. Troopers failing up against this Django. That was a little bit of a gamble. They kind of just focused on Veers and took him out quickly. I was hoping I'd beat Zam, not the case. So I brought in something strong that I knew would win, my JTR Swolo, because they can't take any, or it's harder for them to take me out. Winning the JML mirror, but I had Hermit Yoda to his old Ben, and he had a weaker Datacron to my superior stat boost. Making progress on the Jabba, because I know I have a cleanup here with Aphra. I considered playing it differently, but that was going to be the most efficient way because my Traya was needed elsewhere to handle the Raddus. Vader taking out the Geos, Malak up against Newt, Savage here up against Dooku. This one, I just didn't get through IG-100 fast enough because B1 was doing so much healing of IG-100, and then the stacks of B1 got so high that by the time the stacking effects of the Datacron here got to the point where Savage could take out IG-100 and then Dooku, there's not enough time left in the match to get rid of all the stacks that B1 had accrued in that time, which was like 200 or something. So that was a strategic error, but an easy cleanup with Akbar, and then Jedi Knight Revan here taking out Dash. Now what was remaining on his defense, there was definitely a Starkiller, and I think one more squad, but I don't remember it in the moment. But you can see most of these went pretty quickly and as planned, and I was going to win on banners had I just cleared that territory, but I just didn't have the clock for it. And now again, we're going to shift over to the bracket analysis and the matches, the results of the round 1 match that we're about to see. That will be thrown in at the end of the video. With our final bracket, my opponent is Tamarack. This bracket, we are looking at players where 3 of them have 7 GLs, 2 with 5, 1 with 4, and then 2 of us have 3. So shout out to Starwalker for being another crazy person like me who is punching up. In terms of overall GP, there's a big range from 8 to 10 million GP players. Zetas, my opponent actually has a lot. Everyone else, there's a big range here as low as 170. Omicrons, my opponent has a bunch, 21. That's most of the bracket. I am fourth. I'm the 4th player, but I'm tied for 3rd, technically, I guess. And then relics wise, my opponent's actually really good for relics. My opponent is the best roster of the bracket. Definitely in terms of relics, in terms of overall Omicrons, GLs, depth. He is a very strong roster top to bottom that's reflected in the relic distribution, where there's technically somebody with more tier 5, but when it comes to the tier 7, tier 8s, tier 9s, we start seeing the consequences of all of that. My opponent is beating out everyone. Everyone else is around that 50 range that I'm kind of close to, in the low 40s, high 30s range for the tier 7s. So my opponent is outpacing everyone in those regards. In terms of mods though, this is where things start looking more favorably for me again. We have better mods with the top 25, 500, and just overall counts on the 25 plus, 20 plus, and 15 plus by some pretty sizable margins. So that is a place where we are going to make up ground. And in terms of the overall bracket, I am 2nd in terms of the top 25. Starwalker is beating me out there. But with the top 500, I do have the best overall top 500 average of plus 17. And with the counts, Starwalker is the best, but I am 2nd best, with Maddie here not too far behind me. Datacrons, my opponent is good, but he's like 4th or 5th in the bracket. I am leading the bracket with my counts, with the caveat here that my level 9 crons, I actually can't use too many of these. Not enough of my characters are at the requisite relic levels to take advantage. 2 players without Jabba, half the bracket with Lord Vader, half without. Everyone with JMK, 1 player surprisingly without JML. 2 of us without Sith Eternal Emperor, but I will have him, really I could activate him at any moment, and I will be farming tickets towards the ultimate starting in a day or so. But I intentionally made sure that we did not have him for this week so we could finish the season entirely at that 3GL level. But come the 5v5 season, we will be a 4GL player. So an end of an era here. 3 players with Rey, and I am the only player without SLKR. In terms of the Omicron portion here, my opponent has a Relic 6, 3GL Malgus, Relic 5, 3GL Starkiller. So that's where a number of his relics are going. He has 3 Amis on his Aphra, but those Amis aren't going to come and play. Those are all 5v5 Amis. 3 Amis on his Swolo. I think I was misspeaking in some portion of that, but we're not going to re-record whether or not I did. 3 players without Aphra. So this is a pretty Aphra heavy bracket, which is nice to see. 4 players without Swolo. I need to make that video. I'm the only player with a usable Zori, and this is a Third Sister free bracket. Although we did get through Third Sister when we confronted her last round, so I'm pretty happy to have done that. So check out that last video if you want to see how I approached it. We did 2-hit it, but found a way through pretty affordably. With the rest of this, it's all fine. The big change for me is I have a 7-star profundity now. Well, let's take a look at the quality of his modding, which may actually be pretty good. Even though overall his counts and averages aren't there, that doesn't mean his modding is bad. It could just be very focused. And his final 300 speed character is Dash. So he has 22 characters, which I haven't counted in a while, so it's like 8-ish, maybe 6-ish less than me. I'd have to say, I think I'm still less than 30, but I'm closer to 30 in that like 28 range, I think, but maybe more. But you can see the characters falling below: Mara Jade, Watt, Han, but he has Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. That is notable, very interesting. That is not showing up in the Swogga.gg information yet. So congrats to him. But we'll get started here and take a look at his defense. Now with the defense, it looks like he has attacked already this top territory, and we've got Grievous, Bosk, and this is my defense. You know my defense. He has taken out the Mon Mothma team. It looks like he dropped a potential banner. He might be done, or he may have done that to make sure he gets minimum banners, and he'll be back. And then has not touched that territory. This stuff has remained unchanged. This has been fairly effective. The only thing I've been toggling back and forth is whether or not I retain Jabba for offense, where in this case, based on my Twitch stream prep work, I did choose to retain my Jabba for offense. And for a look at how I'm planning out my strategy, here is the approach that I broke down on that stream. As we get back into this, I'll click through my defenses very quickly, showcase some of this. We did have a great showing the second match of last week where we got a ton of holds. A lot of that was coming from disrespect on some of the characters that look weaker than they actually are, with Zori, Tusken Chieftain, and that is that defense. Now, this is what I had to prepare for. And my opponent did make a number of changes to his defense throughout the 3v3 season from my history scouting, and it has improved, and I don't think anyone's gotten like above 500 banners on his defense. I think there's a number of things we need to be careful about here. We'll see how it goes. I think I'm going to play this in a way where I'm going to go for the easy known quantities first, because I need to know if things go poorly, because I might try some things up against this Jabba. We might throw a Traya at it first and try and pick it apart that way. Or we might just do a JMK counter. The reason I'm saying that is there's a number of teams here like Lord Vader. Well, let's just head over there and let me show you what I'm talking about, why I'm concerned. Is one of the changes he's made from last week to this week, and it's the Lord Vader here. Because in my scouting, he did not have Maul with his Vader, and this is the protection of Datacron. So I thought I was going to be able to Fennec this thing. My Fennec's not going to be a Maul squad, because I don't have relics on Grief, Karga, and some of the requisite characters. So I know this is going to go poorly. So and he's got his Maul is modded very fast. It was like 360-ish or something. So my Fennec's going to get blown up. So we can look at a few of these things, but I find it unlikely that I can get through his Lord Vader without resorting to my JMK, which means my way through Jabba is going to be very messy. So I think the way we're going to play this is beat everything first, see if all those go smoothly, and if they do, then we might try some stuff to get through Vader and Jabba, which means on that back territory, we'll see how things go. But I think whether or not we cleared this stuff, we have a shot at winning based on participation alone. Well, let's get to it. It's also almost 3 a.m. I was working on the talk video for the road ahead. The reason I'm doing this and not just doing it in the morning is I don't know if I'm going to be able to record this in the morning. So we'll see my energy level. I might at a certain point just call it and realize that maybe I'm too tired right now to handle this. We'll see. I'm feeling pretty good right now though. Let's start with Starkiller. So this should be fine. We went through a tough one last week. Okay, let's grab our MJ Cron. And yeah. Okay. Let's make sure we play this right. I did not play this right last time. I think we still beat it, but it was way harder than it needed to be. The first move, okay, we didn't land it. You want to try and stun Swolo, and there we get it. And you want to try and stun him because you don't want him to go. He's very dangerous. We got him into the yellow. His Ray is pretty quick. Usually we're able to get a few more attacks onto Ray. Stay focused, make sure we get her into the yellow. I don't like the progress we're making so far. There we go. Love to be able to... Okay, that's not terrible. Let's take the free turn, see if we can land some stuns. We get one. Prefer to stun somebody else since we already got a stun on Swolo. But at this point we may even be able to take out Swolo temporarily. Well, I mean, obviously he comes back, but it might buy us a moment. Actually, I think we need to make sure we get the assist called, so let's be careful about how we play this. Keep him stunned, just make sure we get assists. Should've got the stagger out. That's fine, we got two unleashed. Let's see if we can land a stun on Yoda. No, deflected. Oh, is he gonna get that crazy mastery going on Yoda? Fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter because he retreats. You've seen, there's versions we've gone up against Dash or JTR where the mastering stacks to the point where it's like almost impossible to do damage on them. But that goes great. One thing down. Now, I'm going to Vader Talon this. because this is very effective, at least up against these versions. And you know what? We've got a little Sith Empire trooper now. I even brought him up to Relic 3 so I could use a Datacron. And let's just grab some. Nobody's gonna daze or stun, so let's just get some stats. I want some stats. I should have re-rolled some of these. Is that really all I've got out? Here we go, okay. I should take him to Relic 5. Doesn't matter. Health steal, I don't. Health defense. Health steal defense. We're going up against. This doesn't matter. Let's just do health defense. This is a pretty strong counter. I just like to bring in Talon because, well, one, she makes sure that Vader can't die, but really it's more about the speed boost to make sure Vader goes before everybody. Otherwise, like, he's relatively speaking a pretty slow character. That's why he's really good under Palpatine. Let's just chuck it. Okay, a little worried about that, but we didn't have an ability block on him anyway. Awesome. Let's get under stealth. The next, what is it, Merciless Massacre or something? We'll be able to just take out Poe. Yeah, just double checking the name. When they made that rework to Vader, what an incredible rework that was. Alright, this should take Finn out. Let's keep going. Alright, we might just Wampa, Iden, Qui-Gon. What was my plan for Qui-Gon? I was going to do some it's not going to work. I might still do it. I've been thinking about the fifth brother thing that I do. Except with this current Datacron set, it doesn't really work like it did with the old Datacron sets. I might consider it. Well, let's take the top territory first. Because some things might go wrong, like the gas counter. Or like this Maul team could be a problem. Or Starkiller could be a problem. Alright, yeah. We got a Relic 9 Darth Revan, we got this Sith Datacron. I'm sure it's the extra stats. Let's double check, but oh really? Daze or stun? Really? That is better than I was thinking. That I'm not worried about that. Let's do this. I'm looking forward to not have to rely on this counter anymore. Crit avoidance. Protection, crit avoidance. You don't... I think... No, we don't need... The offense stacking doesn't matter. We need defense. Maybe we just get some max health. And we get health defense. 46 defense is pretty good. Let's do it. I went up against a gas though with my Grand Inquisitor that had all armor. Like the guy re-rolled all of his abilities so that it was all armor, and it shut down that Grand Inquisitor counter. I just couldn't get through his gas fast enough. Now this, I think without Fallen we might be okay. I'm a little concerned of the relic levels. One of those reasons why I'm happy to be getting Sith Eternal Emperor so that, like, this kind of counter might become way less reliable as everybody works towards the Leviathan. And we start seeing very beefy, high relic versions of this squad. Okay, timing of this seems okay. Okay, the sacrifice happens, but there's no Shaak. Alright, let's focus on Revan. Alright, take out Revan. Save it. Saving it. We should be good though. Revan's like the threat. This is why I say that, like, the version of this squad that I'm most worried about is Revan and Fallen. It's not even the Omicrons. Okay, let's do this to take a turn quick. I'm gonna basic, because hopefully I get my chance to take out Talon. Boom. Perfect timing. Working on Malgus. Let's do the tenacity up now. I don't think he's... Well, he could get us down to the knees. He's still got his big hit. And there it was. Let's give him a tickle. Okay, we should... Oh no, we were in HOndo. What I'm really looking forward to, because Sith Eternal Emperor is going to buy us some time until Jedi Knight Cal Kestis returns, is what's really going to happen, because Sith Eternal Emperor should really be more of a solution to Third Sister. Jedi Knight Cal Kestis is going to probably just turn into a near dedicated Malgus counter. At least that's my expectation. After, I'll be checking out videos to see if that turns out to be the case. Like, maybe my opponent does it. I should stop talking because there's only a minute 45 left. And we got a lot more work to do. We only have our second armor shred now. Okay, we're good. Okay, everything's going smooth so far, but we've done the things that I've been most confident about. Now to start taking some chances. Ah, man. You know what? We can play this differently. I think. Maybe we do a Jabba mirror. Because let me pull this up again. So this was my plan. And my plan was predicated on Maul not being with Lord Vader. Obviously is, so JML in that situation is not what we want. We were going to do JMK Jabba, but I think how we'd play it is we'll do JMK up against Lord Vader. He's probably not going to win because of the protection up, but it will get me to a situation where Fennec can clean him up, because Fennec can clean up the protection up Datacron, just she can't beat him from the start. Now Jabba, we can do a Jabba mirror. JML can be up against Starkiller. Bastila JML we're going to handle it the same way. And okay, I think I have a way forward. We got a plan now. Okay. So let's do this first. Because there's only one way I have to handle this. Which is going to be the classic Jedi Knight Revan. And I think we're going to go with the offense up. There's no real risk here because these are all really more like tanky and support characters. There's no attacker. So that's going to buy us plenty of time to do what our job is. Our job is just to rip out Bast and Sean, so when we clean up, there is no leadership. Take us a minute to get through the protection up there. Maybe I should just save that for when Yoda doesn't have days. Not a huge deal either way, though. There's some offense up. Let's pass this around. There goes the protection up, so now we'll be able to burn through Sean pretty quick. Yeah. Everyone should have a decent amount of that protection up, or I mean of offense up. There's still days on Yoda. Let's swap over there. Now we can just focus on old Ben. And this will be some pretty quick work, and then we can just clean up with Grand Inquisitor. But I'm going to manage it myself. Swap in with Jolie because he's got the most turn meter. Okay. We will just auto until this is done. But, I don't know. Let's talk about Secret Invasion. I like it. I bring it up because some of the things that I pay attention to, like some of the podcasts and things I like, I just keep hearing a lot of negativity about the show, and I find it perplexing. Partly, like I just watched Wakanda Forever. It was fine, but it wasn't amazing. Like I liked the Chadwick stuff. Namor was great. The actor was very strong in that role. But the movie is pretty standard Marvel fare. It wasn't inventive. A lot of stuff, if you think about it too much, it falls apart. And a lot of the action was like, I don't like purposeless action. There's a lot of purposeless action. Like, action, when it's done well, drives the story forward. Not the case with that movie. Not the case with a lot of movies. But I bring it up because I went back and listened to like some podcasts that were talking about it when the movie was released, and they're just glowing reviews. But these same podcasts are very negative towards Secret Invasion, and I don't get it. Secret Invasion, it's not Andor. It's better than a lot of generic Marvel stuff. It's trying things. It has a point of view. I'm happy. What else have we been watching? We've been watching a lot of garbage lately. I'm sure it'll come to me. But I did get rid of the YouTube, the Netflix account, which the thing I really miss the most is the picture-in-picture functionality. Because like Amazon technically has it, It doesn't really work reliably. Most of the time, I can't utilize it. Disney Plus doesn't have it, which is why, like, I haven't watched a lot of this stuff or watched, like, Rebels. Like, I usually would end up just rewatching things I liked on Netflix than watch something new because I could play this game and have the thing on screen. Because it's not the same watching it on television or something because you have to look up. When it's, like, on your screen, it's... No, I really liked it. And let's complete the task, Grand Inquisitor. Let's do your work. We get 7th and 9th. Let's grab a Datacron. The Grand Inquisitor, I've been giving him this one. Yeah, let's do it. You know, the only thing I haven't done, though, is a Jabba mirror. I am concerned that I play it correctly, but I think I win, at least with relic levels. I don't know if I win with mods. I guess we'll see. Aphra will still clean it up. So even if we don't get there, I should be able to find a way. Let's get us to 6. Still a lot of work to get through all this protection, though. Ability block will be well timed. And the turn meter removal. The daze is not great. But we got plenty of health. I'll save that for a moment. We still got to get Torture back. But protection is gone. I think we got Torture no next turn. Save all that. Does that? What else does that do other than equalize? Does that do anything I want right now? Doesn't matter. We gotta do Torture anyway. Oh, you know what? We're gonna save it. Because he's got turn meter now. I should have saved the ability block with turn meter removal. We get turn meter removal, though, with the Torture anyway. I think I'm going to wait, though. Because we don't need it. Okay. Next turn we do it. Next turn we do it because he increased cooldowns. Or it doesn't even come up because he's dead. Okay, never mind. I could have just done it. Overthought it. Not that it matters, but overthought it. Okay. Now we're going to start getting into the tough stuff. Or at least the things where I got to make some choices, some gambles. I didn't do Iden yet because we're probably going to Wampa it, but I don't want to use Wampa until we handle some of these GLs just in case, because we can find another way through Iden if we have to. Let's JTR it. This is a bit of a gamble. I think it's going to work fine for a number of reasons that we can get into. But it's more of a risk. We'll talk about what I like about it. One, I just love Swolo. But there's a number of mechanics that are going to work out really well here. One, Swolo not only ignores taunts, So he's ignoring resilient defense here. But, I think click on that. Okay, so we can land. Oh, it's the other ability that does it. Anyway, we are gonna blow up. Can we blow up Traya? She has all that protection up. I don't think I can blow her up. I know we can blow up Maul though. Let's just blow up Maul. What? You should be able to do more damage than that regardless. That is irritating. Can we stun him? Okay, but what I like is that even characters who are under stealth, we can still target with Swolo. Maybe I'm gonna just go after Traya. Yeah, we're just going after Traya though. Traya's made the decision for me. Because her Ami is doing some stuff here. That's probably why we didn't do as much damage up against Maul as I wanted. The other thing here is we have a undispellable healing immunity over on Savage. We can't deal with it until we deal with Traya though. I just thought we could take out Maul quickly, which doesn't look to be the case. We gotta be careful with debuffs. It's looking like pretty clear here. I need to get my Swolo faster. Isolate, I'm not a fan of. That's bad. Okay. This is gonna go bad. The isolate's an issue. Okay, we are not going to debuff too much. Traya down, not quite. One more turn. We'll just basic. Don't want to do too many debuffs. Swolo's turn is up next. This should take her out. Awesome. Okay. Now that we've got that handled, we don't have to worry about Traya. We should be able to blow up Maul, because Maul's not that good. Maybe I'm not even going to worry about Maul. Let's land an armor shred. We're going to land healing immunity in a minute. I'm getting a little concerned about the clock. Okay, there's the healing immunity. Swolo's turn. Boom. I just knew this was going to work. I think, though, falling into the yellow is very bad. Awesome, 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 awesome. This is why I keep talking about him. Okay, so that was riskier, but it went the way that I want. If we ever see it again in the future, we know how to tweak the play. Just go after Traya first. Alright, we are going to... Alright, we're going to do the JMK situation. We do have Royal Guard. I hope I play this right. We should be fine. I think I'm just going to blow up Royal Guard, focus on Maul, because Maul is not that tough. We can just take him out. The question though is, do I want... I think we do this. Crit avoidance, crit chance, crit damage. Let's do the one with crit damage. Let's do this one. Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm starting to remember things. I should have thrown that onto Kenobi. I remember now. I haven't done this in a while. We are going to do this on Kenobi right now. We will do this. Definitely misplayed the start of it, but maybe we're fine. I think we can just do this. This should take care of Maul pretty close. We'll save that. Okay. Boom, Maul's gone. We'll be able to take out... Let's just do this now. This will take our Royal Guard. Okay. Now we're fine. Misplays, but we're fine. And now we can't take him out, so we're just going to hit auto. Well, maybe she lands enough. You know what? Maybe we land enough armor shreds where we might actually have a chance. But let's put damage immediately on him. Definitely did that right because she had... What's it? She had the thing on cool. Okay, second armor shred. No need for that yet. Kenobi is in a danger zone, so maybe he gets the next damage immunity. I'm just gonna give it to him. Take it. Okay. Keep the healing immunity on. Get some assists, charge up that ultimate. I'm gonna save it. That might be a mistake. Probably is. We're gonna do it, but I kind of want to put that healing immunity on. Get another armor shred. Okay, healing immunity. Armor shred. I think we can reset next. Yep, now we get another armor shred, but the healing immunity is off. Okay, we're not gonna get there. It's fine. Okay. I could auto this, I just don't trust this to play it correctly. Maybe that's my mistake. That healing media is going to come off anyway because the ability block. No, doesn't matter. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. Is Boba Fett on defense? I think Boba Fett's on defense. Alright. One thing with Malgus, I think Malgus is killing the Fennec counter. So there's no benefit to bringing in Mando in this situation. We don't have Boba Fett. I think we're just going to bring in Zam for the stat boost, because I don't think anyone else is helping. Let's see what happens. I wish we had Boba Fett. But I could have anticipated this. But they're not doing anything on defense anyway. They shouldn't be there. But in a cleanup situation, they still have a shot. Okay. With a relic grief, they'd have an even better shot. Maybe bad timing on that. You know what? I gotta be able to see the number of dots. Okay, more. Don't you dare think about dying on me. Okay, next turn, hopefully we get a nice big one. No, this isn't feeling like a win. Right there. Okay. This, I think, is our last shot. Okay. Moment of truth. Because he's got a hit coming. No, we got one more shot. Okay, it's over. Alright, now we're going to deal with the other stuff. Because we may still have some other things that can handle it. Obviously, that can't be Wampa'd. So I'm still going to hold on to my Wampa. I'm still thinking something wonky there. But it means it's time for Jabba. God, I almost want to Traya this. Because he has a relic 8 Jabba. I don't. What's this datacron? Max health, max protection. What's the speed? His Bosch is 261. What's mine at? Okay, there we go. We do have an extra, we have an Ami on Chrysanthemum and an extra relic level on Chrysanthemum, but we have one less relic level on Jabba. Pretty sure his Jabba is faster than mine. My speed on my Bosch, though, slightly faster at 277. And my job is at 499 to his 530. My Jabba needs better mods. But it's also a situation where I'm actively playing it versus his thing managing it a bit more. Let's find... There's nothing from the old Datacron set, right? Who cares about any of that stuff? Yeah, I don't want that. Max health is what we're going to go with, but I'm looking at the secondary stats. Crit damage, health, steal, defense. Health, defense, protection, and crit damage. I think I want this health steal. I think this is good. The only question I have is, should I be doing this second? Because his Jabba could get to the ultimate before mine. Do I have any plans for my Traya? There's a Grand Inquisitor on the back wall that I was going to use my Traya up against. I think I want to save Traya, because otherwise I don't know how I get through Grand Inquisitor. Alright, we're not doing it. We're just going in. We got to be confident we can outplay it. Okay. Let's land buff immunity on Chrysanthemum. We'll do disarm on Bosch. Chuck this thing, and now we're going to just go after Bosch as quickly as we can. We will go for the mass assist. Oh, wait, there's no mass assist right now. We're just charging up. We're just charging up. Let's just charge. Maybe I should just save that. We're gonna keep buff immunity on Chrysanthemum. I don't want to be dealing with any taunt. Okay, we got assist now. Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna keep throwing thermals on. Okay. Okay, Boss should be going down in a moment. Come on. Okay, I can taunt now. He can't. Bosch is gone. Oh, I need the charging. Oh, come on! I lose my Bosch. Okay. Well. He's gonna be able to do it too. Because I don't have Bosch now. Should I just be autoing at this point? Yep, bye, buddy. Alright, I'm just gonna go into an auto war that I can't win. Maybe if I find a different way through Starkiller. Because we do have JML. I just gotta find a different way through Starkiller. I should've... That's why I was thinking Traya. We gotta get to the back wall for Traya to matter. Okay. How am I going to deal with Starkiller if I don't play it the way I was going to play it? Because normally I could, like... I'm technically, like, we could gamble with Wampa, we could gamble with some things we have. We still have a Savage. Savage can take out Iden. I don't need Savage for anything, right? No, there's an Aphra on the back wall. That's what I was going to use Savage for. I want to get to this back wall. I want to beat some of the things. Ah, man. Okay, well... I was going to use troopers on the back wall, but I should be able to use troopers up against Jabba. I hope. Because it's... I don't have... I know there's a version with Moff Gideon. But I have a Gear 11 Moff Gideon, so there's this. Probably also needs higher relics on my Dark Trooper. Well, let's go with it. Right? Yeah, let's go with it. We're gonna try some. See, this is why I was concerned about relics. All right, let's do this. Yeah, I am worried about this. We will armor shred it. Of course there's a dodge. Okay. This is not feeling like a win. Yeah, there's no way. We need higher gear on my Moff Gideon so that he can actually absorb a hit. He's gonna die from thermals in a second. And I know I should just be using a basic opiate. We need higher gear, higher relics. Maybe, and if I was using basics this whole time, because really that spell is a light side thing now that I think about it. We're landing some armor shreds. Would help. Let's just basic. We got Terminator on everybody. Terminator. Yeah, this is not going well. I think had I played it correctly from the start, maybe we had a shot. I think we lost too much time, too much progress. Alright, he's got blind. Is this doing... I think I'm just gonna bait... Yeah, he's got all that protection. Yeah, no, this is a no. Okay. Kind of this is timeout with him at half health. Why not? I'll pause and let that. We're gonna do Night Sisters next. I don't have the team to do it, but I just want to see what happens. Okay, I mean we can obviously use Aphra, but we're gonna do this first, and then we'll use Aphra. We just might not be getting through Starkiller or Lord Vader. Well, we'll see. Okay, so this squad here, I probably need the Omicron on Merrin and probably need Gear 12 on Merrin because it's a thing. We might even need relics on other characters. I just want to see what happens. Let's just look at it. Okay, how do I want to play? Let's do this. Maybe I should be using the specials. Let's do this. I think at a minimum I need the Omicron on Merrin. And I was thinking about putting it on. Because with the Omicron we'd be landing a lot more plague. And this is a thing where we need plague. I don't know, and we probably need Gear 12 on Merrin for that other ability. I just wanted to see what it looked like at this stage. And that's what we do, we test stuff. Yeah, he's gonna heal up right now. Maybe not quite. Yeah, no, we're not gonna do this for 4 minutes. Yeah, not at this stage, not ready. Alright, we're gonna Aphra it, because there's no other way through this. We might just concede the lower territory. Because I just don't think we have another way through. I think JML at this point is my best Starkiller killer. Maybe if I'd CLS, but he's on defense. I wish Wampa was more than like a complete gamble up against Starkiller. I should just... This doesn't matter until they like ramp up. Once the potency gets high enough on Aphra, it starts working. I just hope they're playing it right. Seems to be fine so far. Yeah, it's crushing. Problem is, even my JML is going to be less effective up against this because I don't have Jedi Knight Revan and Yoda, which make up the best version up against Starkiller. So, because Wampa's like a 30% chance. Oops, let me fix that. We might even have to two-hit this thing. Because we're gonna do JML. But even JML is like 50% without the right squad. I think we gotta do it. It is a Relic 5, though. Man. This is what we're gonna... Dude, I hate this. This is what we're gonna do. I hate it. We're just gonna gamble with Wampa. I'm gonna gamble. Because if this works... Then we can at least, we might not full clear, but we can make a lot more progress than we are going to otherwise. So let's roll the dice. Maybe we get lucky. Yeah, we're not going to get lucky. Maybe I should have burned it. Yeah, no way. No, maybe if I would have, like, burned the, like, brought in a sacrifice team. Because then we wouldn't have got hit with that stun from the very beginning. Alright, let's just do it. I just don't have an alternative at this point. And we gotta clear at least this territory. Or... The alternative... If I just had Boba Fett, that's all I needed was Boba Fett, then we would be fine. Because this is what we're going to do here. This would mess up the back wall, which is why even if we were able to clear some of this stuff, we wouldn't full clear, but because I needed Savage for a back wall counter. Oh wait, that's the wrong Datacron set. Yeah, offense stacking, great. Now hopefully this works. Usually my rule is anything above Relic 3 on Shore Trooper. Then this doesn't work, but I'm hoping that the Datacron offsets it. Because over time our offense is going to stack up enough where maybe we counteract the effects of Shore, and maybe Relic 4 is low enough where we can do it. I think it's working. Come on. Next hit. Next hit, he'll probably be far enough in the yellow where he's not going to heal beyond it. Awesome. Fine. He's got rid of the buff is gone now. The crit hit immunity is slowing me down a bit. Let's do this. Okay, get a hit. Hit. Takes his turn, loses the buff. There it is. No, he healed up. They're getting faster and faster though, is the thing. Will my offense outpace them? Come on. There. There. This is our moment. Yes! Okay. Death should be quick work. Boom. Not quite. Alright, we'll probably have to do it twice now. Because on the back wall there was there's Aphra. Savage Malak beats Aphra. Okay. This might take two, but we're still going to do it, because I just don't have a better idea. see. We got to get through Qui-Gon quick. That's the trick here, because we got to do it before cooldowns reset on Anakin. Okay, that's not great. Probably can't do it now. There'll be plenty of things we can use to clean it up, but not at this point. I should have gave them the damage immunity crown. What does this do at 4 stacks? Buff immunity, no armor shred. Let's just do it. Awesome. He's dead. Counter's gonna kill him. Ooh, okay. I should have went with the protection up. Let's do it now. Protection up. Awesome, it worked. God, if I only had a way through this stuff. You think Raddus can do it? I doubt he's fast enough. Like, usually you need like characters who take a bunch of turns. But maybe... Do they have a dispel? God, I just needed Boba Fett. That was such a strategic error. There's no way this works. They got enough turn meter. Let's just let them take their turns. Is any of this stuff dispel? Let's do protection up. We need buff immunity is what we need. I think Cassian can technically land it. But nobody's landing any debuffs. Let's do the protection. What's gonna happen? Let's do protection up. We're gonna get to the thing, but it's not gonna matter. Right here. Let's do it. What is that even? Protection is disabled. Immune to protection up and bonus protection. Okay. Doesn't mean we can beat it. Doesn't really help if it doesn't expire. I mean, it does expire, but until it expires. that was not a worthy experiment. Let's move on. I just don't want to use JML up against it, because I think we're going to do fleet. It's technically worth more. Do I just really have nothing that could possibly have a shot up against this? Let's give Shaak T her shot, because she can dispel, and this can dispel a lot. It's obviously going to get crushed. I should stop doing this kind of stuff because there is a chance that JML Starkiller goes wrong. This is a disaster. I just wanted to believe for a moment. Yeah, no, okay. Maybe though, JML is, maybe we do want to take out this. Is it what I want to do? And we already used up a lot of those back wall counters. I don't think we're going to. Let's just get to fleet. I'm just gonna really hate it if I can't get through this. We should at least be able to make enough progress where we can clean it up. As long as we take out somebody, we should be able to clean it up. Cares about that. I just had a thought. I wonder if I did dash HOndo. I wonder how that would have gone. Maybe if this blows up in my face, we'll get the opportunity to try. Come on. We're right where we need to be. We were. We're no longer there because he's going to heal now. This is why you need Jedi Knight Revan. Okay, let's do it all over again. This has been calling in. This is why this is what I was talking about. His dash is on defense though, right? Yeah, so why would I have that team? That's not something that we have. Let's try Sith, I guess. We'll just try things until something works. This is bad. Can Malak, or not Malak, can HOndo be with dark side characters? I should just use JML up against Lord Vader like I was starting to think. Alright, how am I going to do this? I need... What if I did, like, no leadership? Like, yeah, like this. How come you know who to attack? You guys need to interfere. Of course. Why would it go any other way? I misplayed this. We're going to do Qira. This isn't... I think we're going to do L3 HOndo. There's no way this does anything. Don't I get a turn to start? That dazes might be a problem. That stun's a problem. That stagger's a problem. Yeah, no, this is over. Yeah, I made a the strategic error was thinking I had a way through Starkiller when I needed to go south and just clear Lord Vader. Instead, I burned my Lord Vader counter here and we're stuck. Like, this is the last thing, and there's no damage. Alright, we're done. And I burned things that we could have used trying things up against certain squads, but we'll check back, see if my opponent decides to continue or not. He probably will. He usually plays enough to win, and he can get through my stuff. Yeah, things were going according to plan to start. Like, things were executing well. Some of my worries proved out, and I didn't really have a good solution for that. But it's something that's going to be a lot easier next season once we have Sith Eternal Emperor who can be the answer to a lot of those questions. Because Sith Eternal Emperor would have been the question to a number of those cleanups or to a number of these other teams, which would have moved the chess pieces around. Now, obviously, that didn't go well, but my defense did hold and prevent a full clear, which is great and worth looking at. He Wampa'd Mon Mothma. He did this Newt Jango thing up against Qui-Gon, which you've never seen me do because I didn't have a relic Newt, but I do now. So it's something I might explore in the future. Especially, the other thing is, I don't want to do it because my Jango I'm using with my Maul because of the Quran, but once that Quran expires, you're not going to see me care about it as much. Raddus here up against Sana. Shaak T losing to the Tuskens. This turns into a quit. Although we did in an earlier match, I think we saw that Shaak T beat. Oh, it's because he has Rex and 5s here, not Echo, which I imagine was the difference. Because you have to have an AoE ability, and they don't. Now, Luke taking out Boss, Gas up against the Seps, and here not learning the lesson of needing an AoE ability. The AoE from Brood Alpha is not sufficient. That's not really a damage ability, it's more of an expose ability. So we get another hold there, and this is again what I mean by just unfamiliarity with new kits. There's an advantage there. When you're utilizing teams that everybody has a plan for, your opponents aren't going to get tripped up. But even though that's why like my Tarful squad, as weak as it is, I throw it down because at least it's unfamiliar. He ultimately brings in a GL to take out my Tuskens. He Sith Eternal Emperors the Malgus, Jedi Knight Luke the CLS, JMK'd the Trench, just not messing around with some of these crons. Then Dash HOndo here losing to my Dash Han. Mon Mothma losing. Then a Sign of Jango squad losing, and he must have gone through it. No, he didn't get through this. And then you can, this is interesting here. The Executrix here with no Scythe, just the Fury class Interceptor with the Bomber taking out the Profundity. I was not familiar with this, so that's something I'll probably be testing out in my fleet arena to check out. Profundity, Executor, Negotiator, Mirror, and then he ultimately takes out my fleet. And from there we will wrap it up. We've got a bunch of videos that we will be getting out soon. We'll see. I don't know the exact order, so maybe this one will come out after some of those videos, but we got the Leviathan kit reveal. We've got the Terran Malicos video kit reveal, because those were not things I could address before traveling. Now that I'm back, we're going to do them because they are not as timely. We also have the Princess Nisa video that came out somewhat recently, along with the road ahead. And then a number of other videos that we will always be working on. But thank you for watching. Be excellent to each other, everyone. This is Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.